First thing we need to do is remove the upper paneling. So we need to pop these plastic trimmings. Very simple, they pop right up. And then this will start to come up. And you can just go all the way across. And that comes off. Next we're going to start removing the bolts for the bumper. You're going to start with these 10mm bolts that are on both sides. So 10mm cup. Now that we've removed the outer bolts, the 10mm bolts, and all the clips along the bottom of the bumper, you got to pull the bumper back. So just grabbing the corner and gently starting to pull on it, and the bumper starts to come off. There you go. And you start just a little bit on the side. Now we need to take off the T25 Torx to remove the original T. Mine already was replaced. I'm just putting a new one on. So take the two top ones off. And then there's one in the back. And then the T should come loose. Okay, once you've removed the bumper, you're going to follow this wiring harness that's right above the controls for the shutter system. You're going to take the electrical tape off, and you're going to look for these two cables. One's the yellow, one's black. These run all the way across to the fog light, and that's where we're pulling power from, is from the left fog light. So again, you need yellow and black. Yellow's positive, black's negative. Alright, so now we're going to do the taps. They're called T-taps. You want to go ahead and get the red ones, which are the 18 to 24 gauge wiring T-taps. And with these, you splice into the wire that we were looking at earlier, which is the yellow and the black. So you just find a nice little spot, and then you close the tap into the wire, and it splices in for you, so you get power. And then with the other half, you crimp the wire coming from the lidded T, and then it just splices together as such, and that gives you power. That's it. Alright, once the new T is installed, you reverse the process by putting the T10 Torx back in. You run your cabling, and then you plug in your taps, and you put all the electrical taping to clean up. What I would do as well is right here, electrical tape all around this area so no water gets in there, even though no water usually gets in that area. It's behind the bumper, and it's kind of like in a cup, but it will still electrical tape everything just like that, so it's nice and clean for the installation process. If it ever needs to be taken apart, they just take off the tape and then just unplug the taps. So these taps come off pretty quick like that. and then you just plug it back in if you ever need to put the bumper on and off. So it's makes it a cleaner install with these plug-in T-taps. It's kind of hard with one hand, but there you go. And ta-da! See, so it's nice and clean. So again, it's the yellow and black that'll feed in to this fog light that's out here. I believe it's this little corner one, and it only comes on with your headlights come on. So it usually just turns on at nighttime and not during the daytime, where the lidded T will not be visible. And this is somewhat what your electrical tape work should look afterwards. Everything should be nice and clean. All 4 areas should be nicely taped up. And then if you want to see for comparison, this is what they do at the factory. You just put electrical tape at the junctions to cover everything up, so that way it looks pretty clean. See, even over there you can see electrical tape going from the park sensor back to the harness. And this is the second shutter down below. But there's your lidded T. And I could try to get it to turn on. And there he goes. Should be turning on right there. Kind of hard to see because it's daytime. It's nice and on. And turn it off. And there you go, turned off. Okay, now that everything's been installed, it's time to put everything back together. So first thing is to put the bumper, slide it back into the proper location. So you got to slide everything, making sure that your wiring stays out of the way. Go behind the cruise control radar, so go behind it, and that way it doesn't get in the way of that. Make sure none of these wires get in front of that, but it'll be going straight down below. So again, go behind the cruise control radar, come up and right there to the lidded T. See, so that way it's out of the way, but everything's behind the reinforcement beam, so it hopefully won't get damaged or anything if you ever get into an accident. Almost forgot, when you're putting the bumper back, make sure you line up these little lips into those gaps on the bottom of the car, because if not, you're gonna have a tough time putting your clips back on and your screws. So just a heads up. So one last thing I forgot to mention, when you're putting your T on, make sure you put some sort of waterproofing right where the cable comes out of the T. There's a hole there, and basically what ends up happening is water will get inside the T. So I put some you can either put like some silicone or something, and it'll be pretty much hidden, so it won't be visible from any angle. So, but like I said, you got to put some silicone in there to get some waterproofing properties on the T where the cable comes out of the T, because there's a hole there. Looks like they did not seal that properly during the manufacturing process, and you're good to go. Once you line up the bottom, the top pretty much goes into itself. It just kind of goes in by tension. And there you go. Everything should be pressed in, ready for you to just put on all the clips and bolts you removed them at the beginning, and you're all good to go.